Welcome, everybody, to Rock Resurgence Radio. My name is Chad, the host.
And I'm your co-host, Bergy.
Hey, it's Wednesday. It's Hump Day.
Hump Day.
Hump Day. We're switching it up a little bit. We told you about it a week ago. It is now Hump Day Headbangers. You saw it on the thumbnail. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little easier than doing headlines because, like we said, we kind of typically shoot these in bulk, kind of.
It might be a week before. Or,
it might be a week before or something like that. So the headlines aren't really fresh. And then we thought, what else could we do? And I thought of, hey, let's do Hump Day Headbangers, where we take some songs that, may be new to you or something that's coming out. We're giving you a heads up, or maybe it should be Hump Day Heads Up. I don't know, whatever. But we're going with Hump Day Headbangers. So we're going to pick a couple of songs each for each week. Every week we'll have 2 songs from each.
Yep, something old, something new. Chad likes the when he says headbangers, he means headbangers, a little harder stuff. I didn't necessarily pick 2 songs that were harder. Matter of fact, my 2 this week are... One of them's definitely on the softer side. And then, when we do these, we'll also talk about our episode coming up on Friday, which is going to be must-have albums. We each picked 5 must-have albums, and we're going to, line them up for you on Friday night. So tune into that. He said, sometimes we shoot these in bulk. Maybe bulk's not, maybe a couple of them.
Yeah.
This one we're shooting. This will come out on April 9th. It's a week ago when we shot this. So,
yeah. So,
but if something really headliney and cool happens, you might not see it on here. So, Hump Day Headlines was had to give her the axe, and we had to go Hump Day Headbangers.
Hump Day Headbangers. And if something headline worthy happens, Chris is always good at editing and, like a little banner at the bottom and say, hey, here. This happened since it came out or before it came out. So he puts those on there. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and give you our 2 songs. You want to do one each?
Yeah. I'll start with Something Old.
Okay. You give it to us. What is it?
Yeah. So my Something Old, Hump Day Headbanger. So this is something I've been just listening to lately, and I talked about it on our episode coming up, I think. For sure. I talked about this on our episode coming up on Friday. A band called Pretty Boy Floyd. They did a cover version of Motley Crue's Toast of the Town. And so that's my first pick. So if you haven't heard it, I'm sure most of the people watching our episodes have, but it's on. They're Leather Boys with Electric Toys. I think it's from 1989, if I'm not mistaken. Can't remember which song. I know it's not the first song on the album because I almost picked Rock and Roll's Gonna Set the Night on Fire. And I thought, no, let's use Toast of the Town and kind of tie it into our episode coming up on Friday. Tune into that and you'll see what I'm talking about. But they're Pretty Boy Floyd's touring. I wish they'd come here a little closer so I could go see them because I've never seen them before. And they will play this song for sure on their tour. So my first pick for Hump Day Headbangers, Pretty Boy Floyd, cover version of Toast of the Town from Motley Crue.
Okay, and good song. Good song. I like what they did with it. And it, come to find out when Motley Crue's version's similar. I mean, it sounds very similar. Yep. But they did it justice and did it well. So
true to the original.
Yep, true to the original. The song I'm going to pick is not a headbanger at all. It's a song by a band called Pop Evil off their first album, which was called Lipstick on the Mirror. And this is a band who's gotten heavier and heavier each album. So the first song, their first album could be kind of considered a hair metal album. If you listen to it, and the song I'm talking about is 155. If you haven't heard this song, you are in for a fucking treat because this is a good, great song. And it's a ballad. And I know it would fit right in there with the stuff we listen to. You heard this song?
Nope.
You haven't?
No, but I'm in for a treat because you said so.
Yeah, it's so freaking good. Like I said, if you haven't heard it, do yourself a favor. Pop Evil was they're a little bit heavier than hair metal. But if you listen through the album Up, I think it's Up is the name. I gotta look here again. Yeah, Up. They were excellent, 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 right in this vein of music. And then with their 2018 album, which was just self-titled, they got a little heavier, and got heavier after. Even like they got one coming out this year called What Remains, and I've listened to some of it, just a little bit of what they had, and it's freaking they're getting pretty heavy. So I kind of quit it at Up for their albums. Anything before that, excellent. So that is my first headbanger, and it's not even a headbanger, but you know what? Who cares?
Yeah, no, it's a catchy title, Hump Day Headbangers.
But it's something. Also, I'm gonna try to introduce you to something maybe you haven't heard or listened to, and you would like.
So we each have something new. Something old, something new. We don't have something borrowed or something blue, but we got the old new. And so my Hump Day Headbanger, something new. I just happen to be scrolling through Facebook, which I do probably too often. And I follow Tesla the band's page, so this is where I found it at, and this is where you can find it at. I don't know that it's released as a song anywhere or whatever, on Apple Music or Spotify, but maybe. But I'm scrolling through there, and I'm not I don't know much about Saliva, the band. You probably know more about them than I do, but it's Bobby from Saliva, and he's singing. He's got an acoustic guitar and a mic, and he's playing the song Love Song from Tesla. Find Tesla the band's Facebook page, scroll down a couple spots, and you'll find it. Cool. It's cool.
He's an excellent singer. The original singer from Saliva was named Josie Scott, and probably know the song Click, Click, Boom. You ever heard that one? Yep. So that was their kind of thing. But so that's your number two. My number two, I'm going to keep it in with Pop Evil because I want you to check these guys out if you haven't checked them out. And this one's definitely a banger. Well, there's two. There was two that I was kind of torn between, but I'm going to go with my favorite, and that's Trenches. This song just kicks fucking ass.
What album's that on?
It's on the album Onyx, released in, what year? 2013.
Okay.
And it is so good. There's another song on there, which may be up on a future episode of Hump Day Headbangers. But Trenches is so goddamn catchy. This riff is so cool. And when they play it live, I just go fucking nuts. And I've seen Pop Evil many times because they've played here in Minot at our local bar, the O. The owner, Adam, has had them, and it's cool because they have been here almost every year on the singer, Lee is his name, on his birthday. And they were here last year on his birthday. And now I'm going to have to look up when his birthday is.
Because then maybe you'll get to go see him again.
You get to go see him again.
Yeah.
But like I said, they've gotten a lot heavier. And for me, Pop Evil is the way I like them is up to the Up album. And after that, it just they kind of became a different band to me. So I don't gravitate toward it as much. I like heavy music, but for some reason they turned heavy, and it's okay to me. Just okay. I liked them much better as kind of a straight ahead rock band. And that's just my feeling on it. I mean, I love going to see them live because they're very good live and they do well. They've had a couple of the greatest drummers. Their first guy reminded me of Animal off of
The Muppets?
Muppets.
Okay.
Yeah. He was just
Right.
nuts. He beat the shit out of it and he was doing all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah.
And then he quit to do other things. And then they got this female drummer. Her name was Haley. And she was awesome. She beat the shit out of the drums. She was back there just a hammering for a lady. She was from like the UK somewhere. Anyways, that's my other song, and that is Trenches.
You know, you this is your podcast. You can break the fucking rules and talk about your other one too if you wanted to, or mention the name of it or something.
Well, the other song off there, this album that I
You were
almost
thinking
picked,
about picking?
it's even heavier. It's just it's just fucking, and it's like called "Deal with the Devil."
Okay.
Awesome. So those are our two.
Yeah, and
There
again, check us out on Friday night. We got it's about an hour long episode, maybe a little longer if I remember right.
Yeah, must-have albums.
Yeah, we each picked 5, and I think you'll agree with, I'd say 70, 80, maybe even 90% of our picks. Might be a surprise or two in there. But yeah, you have to tune in and find out. And, of course, please like, subscribe,
all that stuff.
get notified.
Right, and we're going to keep these Wednesday episodes short and sweet and to the point, and I hope you like it, and I hope you approve of the new Hump Day Headbangers.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe, come back.
Please. Thanks for watching.
There we go.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We really hope you enjoyed our content. If you did, please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. We'd greatly appreciate it. Links to everything we discussed will be included in episode notes. Feel free to check those out as well. Until next time, stay golden, Pony Boy, and rock on.